Hello YouTube, welcome to Alex's Views. I'm Alex, for those of you who may not have known. Today we'll be talking about Angelhead, the book by Greg Bottoms. It's his autobiography of growing up around his schizophrenic older brother named Michael. The book opens up on Michael high on acid, tripping out completely after an Ozzy Osbourne concert where he took 5 hits of acid. Anyway, so Greg is watching his brother flip out, punching things, knocking over a lava lamp, stepping on glass, and then he sees his brother's face just kind of go scared as anything, and Michael sees God in the window. And Greg's just wondering what's going on with him. So the whole book is really based on like a lot of Michael, but how Greg was kind of affected by it, how he saw it. There's a lot of interesting happened in his life, and his parents, they didn't do the best thing for him. I'm not sure if they really even knew he was schizophrenic up until his later years in life. Anyway, so his parents are kind of absent. They try to almost pretend that Michael wasn't there. They tried sending him away a few times. It was crazy in the book. His parents tried to put up this whole facade that they had money. They interacted with upper class people in their neighborhood. His father built a house he could barely afford, but they still managed to afford it. And then, so Michael's schizophrenia got worse throughout his life, especially with what he was into. He's into drugs, alcohol, violence, sex, all those things. And throughout his life, he's having problems with his mind, thinking about the devil, God, Jesus. One part, he just has a complete mental breakdown in school, runs out of his room, and then sees Jesus in the hallway wearing Levi's and combat boots. But the rest of him was Jesus looking. Anyway, and then throughout his life, he wasn't treated that well either, even though he wasn't that nice to other people. But I guess he couldn't really help it with his mental illness because no one really tried helping him out much. So he liked going to the mall a lot, and his mom brought him there. And then one time, these people kind of talked to him. They were joking around, and then they messed with him and got Michael to come with them. Michael's, I believe, he's around his early 20s, maybe late teens during this part. And they raped him. So a lot happens to Michael. Greg experienced a lot of it. Greg kind of changes being around his kind of family, interacting with Michael. And then later on in life, Michael ends up in jail. And a whole bunch happens. But all those things in between that I'm not going in depth about, I'm leaving that a little bit open so that you guys can, after you watch this, hopefully get inspired to read the book. It's a great book. I recommend it to anyone who's interested in mental illness, likes autobiographies, or wants something a little bit interesting and different to read. We'd read this in a book group, and one of the members of my book group, who normally doesn't like reading, she loved it. Alright, and while I was reading this book, something that really came into my mind a lot was mental illness and how we've dealt with it throughout history. People with certain mental illnesses occasionally killed in the past. They were secluded into asylums, which did not work. Really, if you know anything about asylums, or if you don't, asylums were places where they stored people with mental illnesses. Really, they just put them all in like one big building and had a few nurses and staff feed them, whatnot. Kept them heavily medicated. Didn't really help much. They had a lot of different types of therapies that didn't work and almost caused more damage a few times. So now we just have mental institutions. We still have plenty of meds and keep a few of them drugged up, but we've learned a little bit more. But there's still plenty more, I believe, that we can learn about mental illness, because there's a lot of range of it. It's not just schizophrenia and those kinds. There's plenty of different types of mental illnesses, and that's what I thought about a lot through this book. Was if his parents really knew that he had some sort of mental illness and didn't think he was just some sort of crazy problem child addicted to drugs and violence and all those different things, would his life have been different? Would they have been able to help him more? Would they have understood him? Would he have a better life? Yeah, so that's mainly what I thought about. Remember, the book is called Angelhead by Greg Bottoms. Good book. The subtitle of the book under Angelhead says My Brother's Descent into Madness, I believe. Alright, check it out. Thank you for watching the video. Hope you enjoy it. Bye-bye.